So, welcome everyone to Storybook Mondays. Today's our first Storybook Mondays. And the book we have for you guys today is Mickey Mouse Stories by Walt Disney. So, let's get to it. Alright, so that's the cover, Mickey Mouse Stories. Hey Elijah, how are you doing? So, every week we're going to have different books from different reading levels. So, today we're starting off nice and easy, alright? Alright, let's open it up. Okay. Alright, so we have a message from Mickey. Alright, so let's read the message. Okay, so, hello everybody. I love wonderful stories more than anything. Alright, hold on, okay, there we go. In the whole world, and the stories about princes, dragons, giants, and good deeds are my all-time favorite, especially when I pretend I'm the hero and save Minnie from disaster. Alright, so Mickey Mouse talking about Minnie. Read one of my magical tales with your mom or dad, with your sister, brother, or grandma, with your babysitter, or your best friend. Heck, with just about anybody you love right before bedtime or anytime you feel like a good story. Love, Mickey Mouse. Okay, so as you guys can see, there are about 6 different stories. So if we don't finish all the stories, we'll just leave it till next time. Alright, this is a pretty old book, it's pretty tattered. I'm having a little trouble. Okay, so first one, let's get a look at the dragon. Ooh, fire-breathing dragon. Nice. Okay, so Sir Mickey hits the spot. Alright, once upon a time, there was a happy little kingdom with one big problem. There we go. A fire-breathing dragon lived in a nearby cave. Every few weeks, the dragon burned down a different village in the land. The king sent messengers out with a decree. To the knight who rids the land of the terrible dragon, the king will give you a room filled with gold, a kingdom of his own, or the hand of Princess Minnie. I wonder who the knight could be. Alright, let's go next page. Alright, so here's the next page. Brave Sir Donald, Sir Goofy, and Sir Mickey rode out of the castle, each dreaming of a prize he hoped to win. Sir Mickey raised his sword and cried, "Let's go save the kingdom!" Alright. Oops. Sir Donald shouted, "Come on out, you fire-breathing kingdom wrecker!" The dragon answered with a roar and a burst of flame aimed right at the plucky knight. "Yow!" cried Sir Donald. Let's go next page. Sir Goofy said, "Hiya, dragon." Why did the little dragon cross the playground? The dragon didn't know. To get to the other slide, Sir Goofy said. Then he read the riddle again and again and again and again. Sir Goofy hoped to bore the dragon to death, but this big dragon had a tiny memory. He liked to hear the same riddle over and over because he could never remember the answer. That's funny. Alright, next page. Alright. Golly, now it's up to me to save the kingdom. Sir Mickey gulped. Bravely, he blew a handful of pepper into the dragon's face. As the dragon opened his mouth to sneeze, Sir Mickey used his shield to prop it open. Then he tossed water down the dragon's throat. The dragon's sneeze was just smoke. The fire was out. "Thanks, I hit the spot," said the dragon. "I couldn't remember how to put out the fire," the dragon said sadly. "When I tried to ask for help, well, you know what happened." Sir Mickey had another good idea. This sign will help you remember, he said. Let's see what the sign says. When your throat gets very hot, a drink of water hits the spot. Nice. Alright. Sir Mickey received a hero's welcome. There were parades and parties, and the biggest, most wonderful wedding ever. The whole kingdom was invited, including the dragon. Alright, that concludes our first short story. Next one, Mickey and Gretel, Minnie. Once upon a time, there lived a poor servant named Mickey. He worked for a blacksmith. The work was hard and the blacksmith was mean. But Mickey stayed because next door lived Minnie, the poor servant of the baker, who was as angry and mean as the blacksmith. One time, the blacksmith and the baker had been wealthy and kind, but long ago a witch had stolen their hearts along with their fortunes. So here's the picture. Mickey loved Minnie more than anything. Her tears hurt him more than all the blacksmith's beatings. What? They got beat? That's not children's book. Come on. Alright. Minnie, he called softly, tonight the moon will be full. Let's run away. Mickey and Minnie walked through the forest for hours and hours. Tired and hungry, they were about to stop when Minnie saw something in the distance. Look, Mickey, she cried, a cottage. A delicious cottage. Gingerbread windowsill. The gingerbread cottage door opened. Come in, you must be tired and hungry, said an old woman. It was the most wonderful meal the two poor servants ever tasted. Vegetables and meats, fruits and bread, cakes and pies, and fresh milk to drink. The big meal made them very, very sleepy. Oh no, I wonder what's gonna happen. Mickey awoke in a cage. When I fatten you up, you will make a tasty servant's pie, crackled the old woman. Then she yelled, Girl, knead the bread. Mix the batter faster, smoother. Light the oven, the old woman demanded next. Minnie said, The baker always lit the oven herself. The old woman sneered, Ah yes, the baker. Does she miss her fortune and her heart very much? You're the witch who stole all the kindness from the blacksmith and baker, cried Mickey. Then Minnie pushed the witch right into the oven. With one hand she slammed the oven door shut, and with the other she set Mickey free. Wow, she must have long arms. Mickey and Minnie found the stolen hearts and fortunes in the witch's attic. So, with their hearts back in the right place and wealth enough for all, the baker, the blacksmith, and Mickey and Minnie lived happily ever after. Wow. Lots of gold. So that concludes our second short story. Let's see what's the next one. The next one is Mickey and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, a golden harp lived in a beautiful castle. The harp's magic song cast a spell of peace and plenty over the land. Everyone was happy in the land called Happy Valley. One day the magic harp disappeared. Lush fields turned to dust. Rivers ran dry. Mickey, Donald, and Goofy were down to their last slice of bread and their last 3 beans. Alright, so here's the picture. Yikes. Sadly, Mickey sold their cow, Bossy, he bought. Beans? Donald sputtered. You sold Bossy for a bunch of beans? Donald threw them down before Mickey could say, wait, they're magic beans. As the farmer slept, the magic beans grew, and grew, and grew. Hey, Cthulhu, what's up? The beanstalk lifted the house up, up, up into the sky. Gosh, cried Goofy, there's a castle in the clouds. In the castle, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy discovered giant-sized food. They ate and ate and ate. Then they heard a soft voice say, "Who's there?" It was... She was locked inside a box. Hey, what, Cthulhu? It's your birthday. Hopefully you're enjoying your birthday, Cthulhu. I'm just reading some books for a new show. Alright, so, beware of the wicked giant who kidnapped me, she warned. Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell turkey, the giant's voice boomed. Yum, 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 I smell bread, I smell pies, I smell... spies. The giant grabbed Mickey, Donald, and Goofy and opened the wooden box. He put them in and took the magic harp out, but Mickey slipped out before the giant could lock the box. Sing, demanded the giant. So there was no harp. The harp sang so sweetly that the giant was soon asleep. Mickey unlocked the box and his friends jumped out. The farmers picked up the harp and raced out of the castle. Ooh. Hurry, Mickey, hurry, cried the harp. Mickey leaped to the ground just as Donald and Goofy sawed through the beanstalk. Crash! The beanstalk and the giant came tumbling down. With the magic harp back in her castle, crops grew, rivers ran, and laughter filled the air. But happiest of all were the three brave farmers. They had saved the valley from the wicked giant. Ooh, lots of food. Alright, that concludes our third short story. Next one is called Brave Little Tailor. Alright. Once upon a time, there was a tailor named Mickey Mouse. He lived in a kingdom ruled by a good king and the beautiful Princess Minnie. All was well in the land until a terrible giant appeared. The king offered a rich reward to get rid of the giant. Have you ever killed a giant? The butcher asked the baker. Before the baker could answer, Mickey proclaimed, I killed 7 with 1 blow. Now, Mickey was talking about flies, not giants, but he was called before the royal court, and before he could explain he had killed 7 flies, not giants, Mickey was appointed Royal High Giant Slayer. Before he could say Giant Slayer 3 times fast, Mickey was sent to work. Out into the country he went in search of the giants. Yikes! Cried Mickey, leaping into a cart of pumpkins. So here's a picture of the giant. Food! Exclaimed the giant, reaching into the pile of pumpkins. To the giant, pumpkins were no bigger than grapes. He popped them into his mouth, and he popped Mickey in too. To wash down the pumpkin snack, the giant pulled a well right out of the ground. As the giant drank, Mickey grabbed the bucket from the well. Mickey leaped from the bucket onto the giant's arm. Then the brave little tailor slipped under the giant's shirt and crawled up into his sleeve. The giant hand chased Mickey into the sleeve. Mickey used his tailor's scissors to cut his way out. Then, when the giant's hand followed him out of the sleeve, he sewed up the hole. The giant's hand was caught in his own sleeve. Round and round the giant Mickey swung, tying him up with thread. When the giant tried to get away, he stumbled and fell. The terrible giant hit his head and passed out. Soon he was snoring soundly. The brave little tailor had neatly sewed up the kingdom's giant problem. His reward was 1,000,000 golden pazuzas and the love of Princess Minnie. Naturally, Mickey and the princess lived happily ever after. Alright, our next story is called The Prince and the Pauper. Once upon a time, Mickey and his friends were poor, humble subjects of a good king. Even when Mickey was cold and hungry, he never lost hope that one day his luck would change. "Pluto, come here," called Mickey. But Pluto was chasing a royal coach right into the palace. Mickey knocked on the gate. The gatekeeper bowed and said, Your Majesty, come in, sire." Captain Pete, the wicked captain of the guards, grabbed Mickey, and Pluto began to bark. "I just want my dog," Mickey said. The ruckus brought the prince to the window. "Captain, the king is ill and needs quiet." "What's this racket?" cried the prince. Pete said, "Local riffraff, sire. Every subject deserves respect. Bring him to me," commanded the prince. "You look like me," they both exclaimed. This gave the prince an idea. "Let's trade places." Even dressed in rags, the prince was sure his royal ring would identify him to his people. So, while the prince went off to town, Mickey went to the prince's lessons. Donald, the prince's valet, came in with lunch, but before Mickey could eat it, Donald had tasted all the food. The prince learned that life outside the palace was not all fun and games. "Stealing in the king's name," he cried. "Unhand the hen in the name of the prince." The guard just laughed. Back in the palace, Captain Pete realized that Mickey was not the prince. So he went to Goofy's house and arrested the real prince. Then he put the prince in the dungeon with Donald. Goofy to the rescue. In disguise, he entered the dungeon. Then he tripped the guard and knocked him out. The freed prince, with Donald, Goofy, and Pluto, fought and disarmed the evil Pete. The last real prince was crowned. "Long live the king," everyone shouted. The new king, with the help of his loyal friends, Mickey, Pluto, Goofy, and Donald, ruled as justly and wisely as his father had done. Alright, next story. The Sorcerers Apprentice. Once upon a time, Mickey was apprenticed to a mighty sorcerer. Mickey swept the floors, filled the cauldron with water, dusted the book of spells, and dreamed of being a powerful sorcerer himself. After a long night of spectacular spells and potent potions, the weary sorcerer said, "Tidy the study and fill the cauldron, Mickey. But do not touch the magic hat. Its power is beyond your control." Mickey yawned. The cauldron was very big and the well was very deep. The apprentice sighed as he began his chores. On top of the book of spells, the sorcerer's magic hat glowed invitingly. "One itty-bitty spell won't hurt," said Mickey softly, placing the hat on his head. "It fits!" he cried. Suddenly, Mickey's mind filled with magnificent magic and sweet sorcery. "I am Sorcerer Mickey," he announced. Then, with abracadabra, a flick of the wrist, and some fancy finger wiggle-waggling, the broom sprang to life. On the legs made of straw, the broom carried the buckets from the well to fill the cauldron. Back and forth it went, well to cauldron, well to cauldron. Now a magic broom never tires, never wavers. But Sorcerer Mickey did. Sitting in the sorcerer's comfy chair, he fell asleep. While he dozed, the broom continued to carry buckets of water from the well, filling the cauldron again and again. Water slushing over the stone floor woke Mickey up. "Oh no, stop, broom, stop," cried Mickey. The broom wouldn't listen. Mickey grabbed an axe and cut the broom into little pieces. Instead of stopping one broom, Mickey created dozens of brooms, all of them carrying buckets of water to an already overflowing cauldron. The flood waters rose higher and higher. As Sorcerer Mickey clung to the book of spells, he wished with all his might that the sorcerer would appear. Finally, the mighty sorcerer did appear. He made the water disappear, the broom became just a broom, and the Sorcerer Mickey was once again just a sorcerer's apprentice. A very sorry sorcerer's apprentice. And that concludes our book of Mickey Mouse stories. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that. And remember, you will be reading a new book at different reading levels every Monday at 4 p.m. So, hopefully everyone enjoyed that, and we will see you guys next time. So, take care and be safe.